Hi everybody. So I'm going to show you some little prep that I do for cooking pork butt on a smoker for a party. Now I bought two pork butts, roughly about 9 pounds each, from Meijer. They had a big sale going on, and for roughly just under $2 per pound. And each one of these comes pre-packaged. Let's look at the pork itself. So if you can see the pork here, it looks good. It's nice and marbled, but on the back side you can see where the fat layer is. Some people trim this. I don't trim it. There's Evelyn. There she goes. I don't trim it. I like to have that big chunk of fat on there to help keep the meat moist as we cook it for roughly 14 hours. It's roughly about an hour and a half to 2 hours per pound at 225 on the smoker. So we'll start this later tonight. I do marinate these. I don't put like a rub on it. A lot of people put like a mustard with sugar rub on it. I do mine in salt with some garlic, onion. There's the salt, and I put a little bit more garlic powder in there. That's pretty much it. I just marinate it for 12 to 14 hours beforehand. Take it out, let them warm up. So we'll get into that in a little bit. I'll take each one of these, put them inside I'll show it right here, a large Ziploc bag. You can get these at Walmart. I believe Amazon also sells them as well. They're double sealed, so they're pretty good at keeping the liquid in. I have the skin removed on the garlic, and I take them and I put them inside this masher to compress it, and then I'll end up putting it inside the Ziploc bag. Alright, so now we're doing garlic powder. Add a little bit more. I just throw a little bit in. Once you got all that done, what I do is I take the individual shoulder pork butts and put them into the bag and fill them up with water and put them in the fridge. Alright, here we go. We have pulled this out of the fridge, the two pieces of pork butt. Pulled them out about an hour ago, and the reason for pulling them out is so that they kind of warm up a little bit. I still need about another hour of them cooling down before then I start them back up in the smoker. Also, as part of doing temperature checks, highly recommend getting a electronic thermometer, so that gives you a reading. We'll insert it into one of the pieces of meat, making sure that we don't touch any of the bone, and then that'll be our way of telling what our temperatures are. So in about an hour, which will be about 10:30, we'll insert these two pork butts into the electric smoker, which I actually just started up right now. Good morning, everybody. So we are here on the next day with our pork being smoked. I didn't show in the middle of the night when I put the two pork butts in the Masterbuilt Electric Smoker here. The reason being, it was kind of dark out and I didn't get good video footage, so figured, do you really need to see that? Not really. So to give you guys kind of an update here, this is an electric smoker, and you're able to set the smoker at the temperature that you want, which we have 225. Right now it's showing 221, and then you can set the time. So these two particular pork butts are going to take roughly 13 to 14 hours to cook to reach that 205 degree temperature that you need internally to be able to shred it. So let's open it up and I'll kind of show you guys what we're working with here. And we put these in roughly about 8 hours ago. So you guys can see it right now. There they are, looking good. Starting to kind of pull a little bit on the outside. You can see a little bit of the fat cap that I left. Again, I like to keep that fat cap on there to keep them moist. And if you look down here at the Masterbuilt, we actually have a little spot where you put your wood chips. And what I do is a couple times through the course of the cooking is I replace it with water-soaked wood chips, so I don't burn them all. You can kind of see it here. Don't burn them all the way through. I just felt that the smoke gets a little bit better, so we can actually do that now. It's been a couple hours. They're not fully done, but kind of give you an idea. Just take them, put them in, and this one, I do keep this thing open, so I do lose a lot of heat when I do this, but it's kind of something that works for me. So you can kind of see it's starting to brown up a little bit. You're getting some nice good bark on it. And I keep it closed, and let's see what the temperature is. That wire that you saw there was the temperature probe, and here is my thermometer. Turn the alarm off. So we are at 182 degrees, and that's about 8 hours in. We actually passed the stall point. A lot of meats will stall at about 165 to roughly, we'll say 170 degrees, and that's just because of the moisture coming off the meat. Will keep the temperature at that 165 for the meat, and they call it the stall. So looks like we're about through it. I have probably about another 4 hours left to get us up to that 205, so we're just going to kind of let it go. I might end up wrapping it in a couple hours in tin foil, and really the reason to do that is just to kind of finish it off and keep some of the moisture in. He's already started licking. All right, here we go. What time is it? It's about 11?
Yeah.
Give or take. So we put it in a little after 11, a little later than we thought. So let's take a look at the temperature first. We're at 184. So we'll take a look at what it looks like now. So it hasn't gone up too much, about 6 degrees in an hour. We have to hit that magic 205, 200, 2 to 205. You guys ready?
No.
Why not? Okay, let's go. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that.
That's pork?
That is a pork shoulder, or otherwise known as pork butt. Look at that. Look how good that
Mom
looks.
told me it was pork butt, and I'm like, I'm not eating that.
Well, pork butt has nothing to do with your butt or a pig's butt. It has to do with the, I believe it's the back side of their shoulder. So that's it. So let's.
I'm going in the top.
Here, I know it's miserable out here. We'll put in some fresh, last little bit of smoke. Chuck scratched you? That evil. Did you put him in a corner?
No. He climbed up my shirt and came out my sleeve. And he scratched me.
Alright, so we're at 184, about 12 hours in. We thought that it should take about 13 and a half. So we're hoping that it'll be done by 1, but look at that color. Ooh, that looks good. Thanks. Boom.
Okay,
Alright, let's do one last check on the temp. So that's all we do. These Masterbuilts are actually pretty good devices as far as maintaining the temperature and having the timer on it. And then obviously whenever you do a big cut of meat or even chicken, let's say a whole chicken, get one of these guys. That will really tell you where you're at, not the time. Time sometimes can be misleading. Sometimes a cut of meat will take longer or take shorter. I've had these types of pulled pork, or pork butts rather, cook, an hour or two quicker than originally intended, or what we thought was based upon the general rule of thumb, an hour and a half per pound. All right, 13 and a half hours in, we are at 186. We're about 13 hours in, not 13 and a half. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wrap these to try to speed up the temperature of the two pork butts, and then hopefully we gotta add extra time here, because one of the things that the Masterbuilt has is it will turn itself off once the timer is done. So I just added 2 hours on there. But what I'm going to do here is wrap these in tin foil and then turn up the heat a little bit to try to get that process going. But you can definitely take a look at the 2 pork butts, and they feel pretty good. So what I do is I take a piece of tin foil, lay it down here, grab one of these pork butts, put it on here, and then just continue to wrap it, kind of double wrap it with some tin foil. Alright, so here's number 1. Double layered it, keep the juices inside, and then we'll do the last one, the one that actually has the thermometer. Do one more poke. Yeah, it feels like it's done, man. It's like butter there. Let's see what the temperature kind of holds. Still holding 185, but that feels pretty good. This one that I wrapped started to fall apart a little bit, so the reading might be just a little bit off. Here we go. Here is one of the pulled pork butts, all nice and done. I am still got to pull it apart, but kind of show you how easy this comes off together. So it's been resting for roughly an hour. And that's it. So we're going to do one of them and then do another one for everyone else. Talk to you later.